One of the things that I love about YouTube being an open platform is being able to see people find their audience and explode, reach new heights of popularity. And that was something I actually got to see firsthand not too long ago. Randomly stumbling upon somebody who's not only a talented musician who's just breaking out, but also happens to be local with something that I never thought would happen. But it did, and I was very blessed to have a chance to sit down with him and talk about YouTube, his music career, and what the future holds. So everyone, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to DovydasMusic. Okay, so hopefully I'm sitting in the right direction where I block the wind. And no, I'm not. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, well, thank you for meeting me out here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, prepared a little something for you. I'm going to absolutely butcher this, and it's going to sound terrible. Tikiosi Kad Tavo Diana Yuragera? Probably really terribly, but I tried.
No, the thing is that it's it's pronounced differently. So the vowels, like in English, you say A, O, U, I, E.
Right.
In European, it's A, A, E, O, U.
Okay, so it's more of a...
So like, but it's fine. I mean, I think I sort of got it. I mean, it was like...
I tried to say, like, thank you for coming out.
All right.
The idea.
Okay. Well, it's A for the effort, man. It's like nobody else has even attempted to do it, you know?
Well, that's what I'm all about, because I'm here. One of the reasons why I started doing interviews is because I feel like they're always too cheesy. Like, they're always like, oh, so what's your favorite brand of cereal and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever, who cares? Let's get the stuff that people actually care about.
Yeah.
So. Cool. All right, well, for those of you on my channel who don't know who this wonderful musician is right in front of me, his name is Dovydas, or David Smash. He is a, I'm gonna use the phrase one-man band, because I don't know how else to...
Okay, that'll work.
Known for guitar, drums, the xylophone. I think I saw a little bit of harmonica action in there at some point. Was born in Lithuania and moved to the States in 2011, is that correct?
2012.
2012. Okay, 2012. Okay. So when did you start your career? Was it like around 13, 14?
I started playing around 13, 14, and the career sort of I guess around 15. I got a band together and started doing bar gigs. Because before that it was going to be a hobby. Right. You know, I was gonna just try to get friends and people to like me in high school, you know, and basically.
Trust me, well familiar with that.
Right. And then, you know, time spent practicing minus friends lost squared, basically the formula for success.
There you go. All right. So you started at like 14, and 15 you were doing it professionally. And then you were like 16, 17 when you started to get like widespread recognition? Well,
16 I went on TV in Lithuania.
Right.
On Lithuania's Got Talent, and I did Eurovision a year after that, and another TV show called The Ring of Young Talents, like ring as in boxing ring, but it's for, for talent. So,
Talent to Ringas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Damn, you did your homework. Nobody.
I was doing some research.
Nobody ever does homework. They're usually like, how'd you get inspired? How'd you get started?
Well,
so,
like I said, that's the typical
stuff. What
wanna,
instruments do you play? It's
I want to do the fun stuff.
Yeah. So basically that.
Okay. You went to a few different schools for music.
Yes.
Was that for more music theory, or is that more for like skill training, or what was the idea behind that?
Mainly, it's good to go because you meet people that are your age that are passionate about the same thing.
Right.
So you get to meet them and play music with them in classrooms and jam out and talk to them and just geek out about music. So that was really beneficial. Did learn some theory, harmony, and other things. I was self-learning, self-teaching myself play guitar, and I was going to go to music school to continue that. But they didn't have any guitar classes available, so I ended up in drum class. And then I transferred after that to a music gymnasium which that's the name of it. It has nothing to do with gym or sports, but
That threw me for a loop. I was like, okay.
yeah, it's just a European name for a higher, for sort of a high school institution that focuses on specific field.
Okay.
And that was gymnasium for music, and after that I transferred to a conservatory of music in Lithuania.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know that you have a very strong blues background, kind of like old school classic rock, country, bluegrass, all that fun stuff. And I know I saw somewhere where your parents had a compilation album of all kinds of different artists and everything. And I also noted that he was a painter.
Yes.
Was him having an artistic background, was he like kind of pushing you towards like expressing yourself via, like you obviously enjoy this music, go express yourself in this way, learn, or was it more of just you just wanting to do it on your own time?
Well, my dad didn't start painting until about the same time when I started playing guitar.
Oh, really?
So it was like, look, he's 40 something, and he's gonna pursue his artistic passion that he wanted to do since he was 6 or 7.
Okay.
And it's like I found something that I really wanted to do, so it happened simultaneously.
It was kind of like you're both going down the same path at the same time and just kind of playing off each other. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes with people who have like creative parents, they're a little bit more lenient towards going out and playing bar gigs at the age of 15.
Yeah.
So I was just curious about that. So when you did Lithuania's Got Talent in 2009, that was like the first like real large scale event.
Yeah.
What was the auditioning process like for that? Like, what did you have to do to get in on that?
Well, at first they announced on TV that, well, it was the first season, so the Lithuania's television, one of the networks, they actually bought the license from Britain's Got Talent to actually do it, and it was going to be like a huge project. And they announced on TV that the go online and register, and I did. I went online and I registered, and then it was just basically open auditions, just show up. Without the judges. They always make it seem like people gather and they all perform in front of the judges, but it's just, they edit it,
Yeah, you sit down in front of the producers for a little bit.
It's producers without any cameras. They only take cameras while we're at a waiting room with a ton of people to make it seem like they're waiting. No, it's not like that. Yeah. And when you're finally on cameras, they tell you to wear the same thing that you wore for the producer audition to make it. Yeah.
Okay, that's I figured as much, but
yeah. So it was audition for the producers. My turn came up, and I just did just camera for their reference, I guess, not for the TV. And I just played one song. It's like, do you have anything else? I played another song. Okay, we'll call you. Then it's one of the few times when they say that we'll call you, and they actually did. Okay.
They actually followed through.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a difference in the music market in the U.S. and in Lithuania.
Yes.
Did you have problems breaking out in Lithuania?
Yeah.
Because you were on TV like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And you just didn't seem to catch on.
Well, I like to think that I got as big as possibly I could have without sucking any dicks, because it's 6 producers, okay, and they dominate the market.
I wanted to make a casting couch joke, but I was like, no, I don't know him well enough to make that, so anyway.
They're just bad. It's just like you gotta be like friends with somebody or sleep with somebody, and 6 producers, and I met with every single one of them, and they were like, well, I don't see a product, or if you like sang in Lithuanian and I wasn't gonna sing in Lithuanian. It's like, look, this music was meant to be sang in English. It's like, because all the biggest stars in Lithuania that sing in Lithuania, they go to Poland or they go to Latvia or they go to Belarus, and that's it. It's like nobody cares, nobody knows them. So I was like really aspiring for this sort of international market. And no, they didn't let me in. I did Eurovision, and everybody else had their producer, their team with them. And especially it was so clear that I'm independent in the rehearsals for the Eurovision casting in Lithuania, because everybody else, like, okay, I want blue lights, for this part of the song. Okay, do blue lights, and they do blue lights. And I want the smoke come in, and they like with smoke, you know, and then the manager and producer talks to the set director, and they all do that, and then, okay, it's going to be like that, and it's a digital board, and we're going to remember how we mixed it. And then I come on my time to rehearse, and I'm like, okay, I want these kind of lights, and I want. It's like, oh, we can't change that. we can't do special lights. It's not kind of boring. I just saw
you do it.
I just saw you do it for this guy. And it's like, you know, no one gives a shit. You're 16, 17. It's like, let's get out of here.
Was it an age thing, or were they blackballing you, do you think? Like
It's both. It's like age thing. Look how confident he is. He doesn't have any backing, any producers, any money with him, you know, like, you know, just like that, you know.
Okay, that's fair. There's a lot of that in the States too, but I imagine because it's such a smaller country, and it's a lot more. It's a lot more intense.
So obvious, yeah.
Yeah. So you came to the States around 2012, you said.
Yes.
Was Sarasota the first place
Yeah.
you lived out here?
Yeah, the first place, yeah.
What drew you here? Because I know that there's a pretty vibrant music scene here, but there's places like there's some places in Texas. There's Nashville. You know, what about Sarasota?
I met this guy on Facebook. He saw my Lithuania's Got Talent YouTube video, and he's like, "Hey, you're great. You should come down here and play music." Yeah.
Yeah, I think I looked into him a little bit too. He's a local blues musician too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was all the convincing you needed?
Yeah, that's it. It's like,
okay.
I was what, 18, 19. I just graduated high school, that conservatory, and I'm like, the hell with this. It's like they're like short-sighted. They don't understand my American music. I was like really pissed off about it. A lot of things, you know, because they're like, you know, you try to do something, you try to innovate, and they block you, you know. So it's like I was gonna go to London, or I was gonna go to Germany. I was learning German really heavily because, you know, they have good blues rock festivals in Germany, and Germany is much larger. Yeah. You know, Lithuania, what size of New Hampshire? 3 million people.
Thereabouts that, yeah.
Probably two and a half now, because everybody's leaving.
Probably because everyone realizes, this probably isn't the best thing.
yeah. It's like, you know.
You mentioned learning German. When did you learn English?
I started. Well, it was like a curriculum in high school, but about the same strength as Americans learning Spanish in high school. It's like, oh yeah, I took 7 years of Spanish. Un poquito.
I can ask where the bathroom is.
Yeah, exactly. So it was about that, you know, like English teacher. The Timmy had many clothes that he would like to wear. It's like,
you're just like, okay,
God.
I get the point, but...
Yeah, so 14, 15, when I realized, okay, it's not just a guitar player, I want to be singing, so I really, movies, TV shows, pronunciation, you know, just how to sing like Elvis.
Wow,
you know?
You must have picked that up really quick, because even like watching your earlier stuff, like you talk just like you do now, like you've been doing it for years.
Thanks.
Yeah, like that was one of the things that caught me off guard. Because I was expecting at least a little bit of an accent or, you know, like a word here and there, but no, it was like, I honestly thought that you learned when you were like 6 or something. No. Like you've just been doing it all your life.
Oh, yeah,
so,
I wish.
That's good to hear. So your first album was recorded in Lithuania.
Well, it wasn't quite an album. It was just
an EP, yeah.
Songs, just a compilation of songs that I did. Like I would save up money from gigs, and then in the summer I would go to my friend of mine, home studio. He's actually one of the composers for a lot of crooners, pop stars in Lithuania for the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Okay.
And he's like semi-retired, and he has this studio in his house, and I would, you know, he got me a good deal, and really awesome guy, and I would just bring all of my stuff for like a week, drums, guitars, and I would record 5, 7 songs, and I did that in 2000, 2009, 2010, and 2011, you know, and there was no CD or EP even released, and only a couple radio stations I think played my songs, because most was like, okay, you got to have a producer that, you know, bribe somebody, you know, on the more commercial Lithuanian radio station to get your music.
I'm starting to get a picture of Lithuanian culture, and it's not sounding like a place I want to go visit.
Yeah.
And then your second album, you recorded that here in Sarasota.
Yes.
You had some difficulties with that, because difficulties booking, if I'm not mistaken. Because like you said, like you can only record like for like a day, and then like you'd have to come back like you couldn't do it all in one chunk or something.
Well, okay, so after a month being in US, I got a record deal. whoa.
It's like, oh man,
Sounds great, right?
it's been a month and already I'm moving up.
Yeah, well, guess what? It just, oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, so, they made a shit ton of promises that they didn't deliver on.
Yeah.
And by the contract, album was supposed to be done in like 3 months. It took like a year and a half.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
That's brutal. Well, are you at least happy with the product?
Well, I've learned a lot. I met a lot of people, so I'm still grateful. It was a learning process and experience. So, I did got, things out of it as opposed to not doing anything at all,
It's a learning experience,
Yeah, so it's like, but I felt like I've wasted a lot of time, that I could have been like, moving up and making progress, but.
That's fair. But I mean, that's, everyone's got to pay their dues,
I suppose.
Yeah. So, so the first time that you really started uploading gig performances, at least on YouTube, was like around 2009 or so, based on the upload dates.
Yeah.
It was usually just like a friend in the crowd, just kind of like, hey, I got a cell phone.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here's a camera, take a video of this.
Yeah. When did you decide to switch to the more like self-produced one-man band kind of content, and why did you decide to go down that?
It was inevitable. It was. I always wanted to play with a band. It's like the most fun, but you try to get a gig, and they don't have enough of a budget to pay for 4 people. So it's like, well, we can book your band, but do you do solo? So sure, I'm Han Solo. Yeah, I can. Yeah,
I can do this, no problem.
So I would just strum guitar and sing, or maybe put a harmonica on a harmonica rack, like Bob Dylan kind of, and just do that. And that got old really fast. So I slowly started adding. I added a loop pedal, and then I loop a couple chords and solo on top. Oh, this is great. Yeah. And then I saw Dub Effects. I don't know if Dub Effects. Have you heard of him?
Not really familiar with it.
There's this guy from Australia that does beatbox, one-man live looping, kind of like creates melodies with only his voice and builds like an entire song.
Okay.
And I saw him do that, and I'm like, well, I can't beatbox, but I could, get some drums or a drum machine or something.
And take this concept and adapt.
Right. So that's what I did. At first, I used drums from this cheap Yamaha, drum sounds, and I would loop it in the looper. Then I got a bigger looper, then I got a different keyboard, then I got a drum pad, then I got a better drum pad. So basically within the span of a couple years, I acquired sort of similar to what you see now in the videos.
Okay, cool. The creative process for creating music like that, though, has got to be insane, because I dabble with music. I'm nowhere near a proficient player. But it's it takes me a good few hours, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've got 6 notes here, I'm doing good. And then just watching you just like that video you posted with the DJ for just an hour straight, you're just jamming along, and I'm like, oh my God, this is insane.
It's I don't know. Ever since I started writing or thinking of music, I wouldn't think from the perspective of one instrument. I would try to think from the perspective of the entire ensemble, to which I would write or come up with whatever music. Early on, I learned, I would listen to early Beatles, and I would listen to it 4 times, and I would only focus on one instrument.
Right.
So I would listen the first time, I listened to the just guitars. I listened the second time, I listened to drums only, and then, then other instruments.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking, make sure everything's good still.
Still good? Still recording? Good. Now that I had these tools, a drum pad, a synth, and a guitar hanging on me, I had these actual things that I can get out of my head and actually do it on the spot. So it wasn't, the only thing was new was just how to use it. But the thought process behind it was already there. I was very familiar, because I'm a trained drummer. I didn't take guitar classes, I took drum classes.
Right.
So I was very familiar with that. I'm very familiar with the piano and the bass guitar. So
So you have all the basics, it's just a matter of building on it. And
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. When did you realize that you were actually good at what you did, and you're not just some douchebag playing Wonderwall to pick up chicks at the local college?
When I made it to the finals of Lithuania's Got Talent, that was a major confirmation. Sort of because every parent is oh, well, my son does this and he's very good at it. And it's Well, you know what? Everybody says that about their kids, you know? So it's like, where's the... I was seeking for a reality check because I'm not the type to live in a delusion.
Right.
You know, I'd rather like live in the bitter reality, but I know it's real, you know? And I know I'm not the best player when it comes to like, you know, beats per minute or articulation and how fast, but art is not granted by merit. It's not meritocracy, you know, and you could argue that Beatles were sloppy, but that, you know, people like it.
Especially their early work, but it was good because it has a heart, you know, and you can feel the emotion behind it.
Yeah, so I guess people connected, and just the more gigs I did or songs I recorded, they said they liked it, you know.
It was just kind of like slowly over time, but like the big moment was Lithuania's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Where you were like, okay, I can actually do something with this.
Yeah, I can pursue a career in it, you know.
Okay, cool. Speaking of pursuing a career, what's life like as a working musician? Like, do you have like a union that like helps you out find gigs, or is it all self-done?
It's all self-done. There's no union. Maybe it used to be, you know, but I mean, the first I've heard that a musician's union would even be a thing is from people, other musicians that I've met that they're really old and, you know, they keep talking about the good old days. So I guess the union was in the good old days, but even though I am pursuing a music career, that's not the end game to be a member of the union, you know, where they get me gigs. It's like I have a different end goal in mind with a little bit more bigger ambitions. So yeah, it's all self booking basically. You call up a venue and you try to get a gig, you send them a link, something to listen to, and if they like it, they get you a gig, or send them a links to some videos, or if that doesn't work, I found that what really works is I call them up and I'm like, look, I'll come and play for free for 1 hour, and if you like me, you can book me. And that usually works every time because they meet you in person, and they do need to book somebody, and you are already there. Yep. So they can't say no.
And on top of that, they don't have to pay for the first little bit. So it's like, speaking to someone who does business, like that's like a win-win.
They feel like they got something for free, so they're like, wow, really? But wait, call now. And
oh my God, we have to shoot a commercial sometime. Do like one of like those late night infomercials.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun.
Have you ever tried using a cell phone? It's like a black and white, desaturate. It's like, and you try to use a cell phone.
Yeah, and you're just getting this. Oh man, that would be a lot of fun to shoot. Well, speaking of bigger and greater things, you were the only known, or like as far as anyone's aware, native-born Lithuanian to place as high as you did in the International Blues Challenge in 2016.
Yeah.
Comparing that to all the stuff you did in Lithuania, what has that done to further your career, or is it just like another pride point where it's like, look, like I'm doing my country proud, I'm doing my family proud?
Yeah, I think it's still too early for anybody to acknowledge that as a legitimate achievement. Most lifetime achievement or appreciation for what you've done come after you're blind, dead, and crippled, you know?
40, 60 years later.
Yeah, so that's what's going to be with Lithuania. So I'm trying not even to focus on that, like to receive any type of acknowledgement.
Yeah, I'm talking more like modern day, like if you threw that out and be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I know you're having trouble booking me a gig, but I was the semifinalist on the Blues Challenge. Yeah. Like, does it work on that front?
No.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah. And the entire Blues Challenge, I mean, just like I was telling you earlier, look, after 1 month being in US, I got a record deal. Sounds really good, right? When in reality, it wasn't. The same with being a semi-finalist at the International Blues Challenge. The entire International Blues Challenge competition, in my opinion, is a scam. It's a week-long Halloween for retired middle-aged men to dress up as blues stars from the 50s. Everybody's wearing a fedora and carrying a Fender amp, and they're imagining there's something, okay?
I'm just picturing all this in my head, and it's great.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad, okay?
I mean, you could probably look at everything like that.
No, I mean, as an industry, as a blues industry, they're struggling. The largest labels, blues labels, they're not pulling any profit.
I wouldn't doubt it, because
They're
I mean,
failing.
because it's all about pop music and whatever the top 40s are this week, you know?
It's about innovation. And what I did, I wrote the songs for Blues Challenge because you get more points for original content.
Right.
And they judged you based on the vocal ability, instrumental ability, originality, and blues content.
Okay.
Like, how do these, like, or how original can you get with still being blues content? And then you get these like 3 old farts as judges, okay? And then you get like 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, and the third guy 6, 6, 4, 4, 3.
And then it's like, okay, well, that just sank me.
This is done, you know? And what I think what they're failing to understand, that the idols that they hold to be idols in the blues community from 50s and 60s were actually innovators and rule breakers in their decade.
Right.
They were not accepted by orthodox listeners or judges or music critics. The blues was regarded in the same epithets as hip hop is regarded today by a casual listener.
Yeah, that was actually, listening to you talk about that, I was going to make that as a point, because it seems like every decade or two, there's like that one genre of music that's just kind of...
That's dangerous.
Yeah, like in the 90s, it was like grunge.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So...
Muddy Waters sang about being a hoochie coochie man. Okay, it literally means vagina, okay? Rock me all night long, baby. Rock and roll meant sex, okay? Like, I grab I won my 44, so it's about having a gun. It's about a trap. It's about a...
Yeah, because back in the 50s, that would have been like, that's like nowadays, that's nothing.
That's nothing, but back in that was like listening to Lil Uzi or Kendrick Lamar right now.
Yeah.
And then you hear these blues heads, oh, I don't like hip hop. Do you understand that it's more alike to blues than a blues tribute band today is to blues? Mm-hmm. It's a copy of a copy as opposed to like equivalent within its own decade. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So like, you know, you said earlier, like heavily based in blues, but I've expanded my musical style to meet the criteria of today. And what's the innovation today? If blues was the innovation in 50s and 60s, and it was dangerous, and rock and roll, and all the artists and sounds, and all the older parents told their kids, do not listen to this, okay? And radio stations boycotted these artists, boycotted Elvis, you know? So what's on the edge, you know, what's pushing the culture today?
Yeah, that can be said for a lot of things, like even YouTube, for example, trying to find that next big mega viral fidget spinner thing, you know?
Oh, fidget spinner. Oh my God, 2017, year of fidget spinners.
It was bad. Fidget spinners and YouTube drama. Then again, what year isn't YouTube drama with YouTube? There's always something.
Did you see the YouTube Rewind?
I watched
fidget spinners. It's
is
like,
that really all it
they
is?
even had the record that's a fidget spinner.
I watched like 2013. That was a good one.
Okay.
And then it kind of just like slowly went downhill from there. Oh man, it's a joke. One thing I wanted to ask you though, why'd you change the name of your band from David Mash and the Smash Band? Because I love that pun. I know it's a little wordy, but that's such a good pun.
It is too long. It is too long, first of all. And mash, I just didn't like that it means mash, you know, like a mush or mash. So I just added an S, a smash, because I watched that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, Walk the Line, about life of Johnny Cash. Okay. I really liked that movie. I was like, what, 14, 15? I was just starting to play guitar, so it made an impact learning about Sun Records and Elvis and hello, I'm Johnny Cash, right? So I wanted like, hello, I'm David Smash. And just the same number of syllables. So basically,
it sounds more like, oh wow, I'm gonna take notice of that name.
Right, yeah. Right. And now I'm changing it again, you know.
What is it gonna be now?
Dovydas.
Oh, you're actually going with
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go by. Yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit before we started with how I had found you. I guess I should say it again for the cameras.
On your meme playlist.
The meme playlist. Everybody who watches this has probably at some point dove into the My Mix on YouTube, and it just pulls from whatever you watch. So it's like 90% memes and like 5% video game soundtracks and like 5% actual music. But the song that it put in there is actually a good example of YouTube just kind of going, hey, I like this video, I'm gonna push this everywhere. That was like the third or fourth video that YouTube kind of pushed for you like that. Why do you think YouTube latched on to like that style where it's like, oh, someone requested this song or someone requested this song? And
I think it's because it tells a story, as opposed to just being a song where a video starts and then there's a song and then it ends at the end of the video.
Right.
There's like somebody having a conversation. There is like a joke. There is a plot twist. And people watch it for I don't know, so you know, they watched quite a lot of the video. Not entirely. Some people watch entirely, but they don't click away because there's like I said, a story with a plot twist before the music starts.
Right, it's a hook. It gets them interested.
I suppose, yeah. And I think that Steve I video basically established that keyword of when someone requests.
Yeah, that's just gonna be like the headlining act.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw your vlog where you talked about how Guitar World wrote that article about you, and you were like shaking. You were like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Right.
Have you had any other moments like that lately?
Probably not on a similar. Well, maybe. I got endorsed by TC Helicon.
Oh, that's big.
That's like a company that took me forever to save up to buy certain pedals and effects, you know, to add to my gear that I used for my music, and they're like, they send me like this huge box of just like, here you go. It's like all for free, and each of those things is like super expensive.
You're just like, okay.
Wow.
Was this a thing where you just opened your mail one day and there's just this huge box and you're like, what the hell is this?
No, we communicated.
Okay.
We communicated via email, and I just didn't think they would follow through, you know.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like I don't believe this is actually happening.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm just used to like, oh, we'll call you, and I'm just okay, you'll never call me, and they're like, actually, they actually sent it, you know, and now I'm in communication with a guitar company that their guitars are like, what, cheapest is like $3,000, cheapest guitar they have.
Okay.
And I'm in communications with the vice president of the artist relations, and they like, oh, I saw your videos, I really want to work. And it's like I'm in second base with them. So that would have not happened 3 months ago.
Yeah.
That would have not been possible.
So do you think it's because of YouTube?
Oh yeah, it's all these companies. They're in business because it's business. And what's the most valuable commodity in business?
More eyes, more
attention.
Yeah, more attention.
So if this guy, it's going to be what, 100,000 in a couple of days, within the matter of 3 months. So I'm like thinking from their perspective, like they see current point where I'm at, and they also see promise of a potential.
Yeah, because it's like you could like if their gear is in another video that gets 2 million views, you know, that's 2 million people. That's free advertising.
Yeah.
It's well worth, you know, like a $200 pedal here.
Yeah, it's like nothing. It's like nothing for them. Yeah.
It's got to feel good though to be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
the free stuff wagon.
I don't need to buy things ever again. I just need Yeezys and.
There you go. It's when you start getting the stuff unsolicited that it's like, that's when you know you've really made it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like you check the mail and it's just, oh look, another guitar, put it with the others.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it's not there yet. No.
So with all this said, do you really feel like you're a successful YouTuber?
No, I mean, it's only 3 months, but I do keep up with statistics and predictions, and I'm really staying on top of it, posting 10 a.m. every day, and I'm not looking to be a YouTuber. I'm looking to be a musician that
just kind of
does YouTube on the side.
So it would be more like you're diversifying your portfolio.
Yes,
Okay.
like, you know, like PewDiePie, he's not gonna put his greatest video hits on a DVD and go on tour to promote it.
You say that. Some YouTubers actually are starting to do that now. Like Markiplier, he was one of the first ones to do it.
Really?
Yeah, they go out and they would stage the Game Grumps. They'll rent out comedy clubs and just play video games in front of people. Like it's happening.
Okay.
Angry
Never
Video
mind.
Game Nerd. Yeah, Angry Video
Never
Game Nerd,
mind.
probably the original one. He's well known for he had DVDs originally. Now he's got Blu-rays. Pat the NES Punk does DVDs. Like it's a thing.
Okay, I take it back. I take it back.
It's weird. Some people, like, I guess it's more of just some people like to watch things in particular ways, and I can't imagine their sales are very high.
Yeah, because DVDs are plummeting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it, but I mean they have an Amazon page. They're having to keep producing more runs, so obviously somebody out there is buying it.
Shit, they're smart. That's really good.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, diversifying your business. So
Yeah.
maybe that's a way to go. Because I know you do the live production albums where you just kind of put everything together.
Yeah, it's
maybe
my
just,
own bootlegs. Yeah.
Yeah, my own bootlegs. I love that. Maybe you could do like a DVD box set release. You know, like, oh, this is all of the songs on Volume 1, but here's the accompanying video tracks that's also on YouTube. You know, that'd be worth an additional $20-$30. I can see some people. I'd probably do that if I still used Blu-rays.
Right,
I don't.
right.
I stream everything, but you know, I can see that being a thing. But the point behind me asking if you're a successful YouTuber, where do you want to go with this? Because right now you're on the edge of something great. But if you go too far down that path, you're gonna become a YouTuber. So it's how do you strike the balance? Like what's the game plan?
Well, the way I'm looking at it, I'm not looking at it as a YouTuber.
Right.
TV's dying.
It is.
YouTube will be the new TV with, I don't know, 2 years. They already introduced YouTube TV, $35 a month. You get like a ton of channels. So it's television. So it's your own personal television network.
And it's got DVR included. You can watch on anything you want. You don't have to have the crappy box.
It has different playlists. If you're into vlogs, I got vlogs. If you're into music, I got music. If you're into live streams, I got live streams.
Yeah.
You know, you become your own Netflix.
That's true.
And after a certain size, you can either stay on a platform or, you know, move to your own platform or drive traffic to, hey, on such and such date, I'll be at this theater. Tickets on sale now in the description.
Actually, good that you brought that up again, because YouTube actually integrates that now into the view page. I wish I had a screenshot so I could show you. But like where the subscribe button is, it'll actually say on tour, next date, the city, buy tickets right here.
So my predictions right now that I'll have 500,000 subscribers by midsummer. I don't know how that accurate is. It's on Social Blade.
Social Blade's actually fairly accurate. It's all predictions because it all depends on the YouTube algorithm and everything. It's more just based off of if this current growth continues at the same rate, then you will. Which mathematically, you know, that's a pretty sound principle.
Yeah, but it's been steady. It's sort of with each viral video, it peaks. And then it goes back down, but it doesn't go back down where it was.
It just kind of levels and then peaks and then levels.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah. No, I've had videos like that where it's like all of a sudden you'll peak and then you'll level and then you'll peak and then you'll level.
Yeah.
So
I guess to answer your question, it's ultimately to headline shows, play, you know, do tours and do large auditoriums for people and record studio albums with actual music videos, you know, and still maintain this connection with the listeners and fans via YouTube, because I think it's the best platform for that.
It is.
And I haven't seen big names to actually utilize that to what I would think would be a full, like Taylor Swift, hey everybody, you know, like.
Oh, Taylor Swift is a great example of someone how not to do it.
Is she?
Oh, she's terrible whenever it comes to copyright and everything.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of the best example. If you're not allowed to take photos at her concerts. If you do, she owns the copyright for them. Like all kinds of messed up stuff. Like it's bad. She tried to sue Apple because, well, no, that I actually agree with. I'm just trying to think of some examples, but no, she's like notoriously bad about that. But you are right. Like a lot of musicians don't capitalize on this. Metallica, for example, wasn't on streaming until, God, I want to say like 2009, 2010. Like they just wouldn't do it because of the whole Napster thing.
Well, man, I would say like innovation comes and you just got to jump on top of it.
You do?
When radio showed up, how many musicians were like, oh, people will stop going to concerts. How are we going to make royalties of printed sheet music? They're just going to listen. It's like, no, it's going to dominate.
Yeah. To modernize it a little bit for you youngsters watching who may not be quite able to understand, it would be the same concept of VHSs and tapes. Oh, you can just record off the radio, or you can just record the TV and watch it whenever. skip the commercials. It's the same concept. It's a never-ending thing, but the thing to see is that it always comes out better on the other side.
Yeah.
Always does.
Yeah.
I have yet to see a technological leap that has just caused like an entire industry to just explode without there being other reasons for the industry exploding, like how TV is about to just collapse under its own weight.
Yeah, because now everybody can take a video and yeah. I think it's bound to happen to any industry. At first, it's super expensive to get the gear and actually do it, and with time, the costs lower and it's smaller and easier to do it and broadcast it. So now you finally have, when it comes to television broadcasting, you finally have democracy.
You do?
With your own phone and with YouTube.
You do?
Yeah.
But then you get into the whole YouTube ad apocalypse and everything, so maybe you don't, but that's a topic.
It'll bounce back.
It always will. Yeah, it's a business.
Just like Orson Welles, that War of the Worlds, he cited on the radio and it caused massive panic. Mm-hmm. That's a lie. Newspapers made up that story to make radio look bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like, radio was a new rival for newspapers because everybody's going to listen to the radio now. Who's going to read news? So they're like, it's like the same what Wall Street Journal did with PewDiePie. Make it more evil to make YouTube. It's going to bounce back. Give it a couple years.
It's actually something that we're going through at work because, like 10 years ago, there weren't a lot of people who did cell phone repair. There was like one dude in like a 10-city radius.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where parts started to get cheaper, and then more people realized what was going on. So now there's more competition, and now some of the companies are starting to die off, and businesses drying up because there's so many other people out there. Yeah. It's like that everywhere.
Yes.
You get that surge, and then the market kind of realizes, whoa, this isn't sustainable, and then it kind of settles at a normal level. So, but yeah. Because you mentioned YouTube being the best way to interact with your fans. Have you looked into other forms of social media? Like I know you started a Facebook page not too long ago.
Yeah.
What about like Snapchat, Instagram? I have a Discord server that I use to actually chat directly with my subs.
I have that, but it's just mainly supplement. You see, maybe it would have worked to grow simultaneously. You get it, right?
Simultaneously.
Yes. A couple of years ago.
Right.
But now, each platform is so well developed and it's so different from one another that it's a full-time commitment. There are like Instagrammers that they have 2 million, 3 million followers. You go on their YouTube, it's barely 1,000, and because it takes this much time to actually figure out proper timing, tags, algorithms, type of content, so that
it eats into your time because each platform is its own.
Yeah. So what I realized, look, I only have one person, me, no staff, nobody. I'm gonna focus on YouTube, and in the description, here's my Facebook, here's my Twitter, here's my Instagram.
If you want it, it's here. Probably never gonna touch it, but it's there.
Yeah. I post a couple photos a week on Instagram, and I'll link sometimes some whatever on Facebook, and almost nothing on Snapchat. And Twitter is just best for me to get in touch with me.
That's basically exactly how I run everything, so I understand completely. I have to say though, my favorite is the Discord server because it's basically just a chat room. I haven't
heard of that.
It's more for like gamers, for like voice for like
Twitch.
No, it's a voice platform. So for like communicating. So like we use it. There's like two portions to it. There's like my friends and I group that we all play together, like we have our own like little private portion, and then there's the public portion where any of the subscribers can just join and they can chat and everybody sees it and they all talk to one another. So it's like forming their own little community.
Okay. Check it out.
Yeah, and then it's I'll help you set it up and everything if you want.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Or even if you want to just see how mine works, I can show you that too.
All right.
But we use it. I use it as a way to advertise videos because I can just ping everybody and be like, hey, new video up, go watch it. Sometimes I'll drop early access, or I'll drop like behind the scenes photos there. Just be like, oh, look, I'm setting up the film, and people will be like, ah, ha, ha. Like it's a really cool way to have a community because then everyone starts to know one another, and then not only is it talking to you, it's talking to the other friends all about this mutual thing that everyone likes or everyone's a part of. It's really cool. We'll get into that off camera.
Yeah. I've noticed that in the comments, there'll be like a person commenting first, And they're like, oh, I was first last time and now you're first. And then it's like an entire thread of conversation there, you know, or yeah, so they'll get into that.
Yep. Lately, it seems to me that the standalone guitarist, the Eric Clapton, the Jimi Hendrix, they do have bands, obviously, but everyone knows them as the guitarist. That's kind of going away lately, but it seems like you might be trying to bring it back. Is that the idea, or is it just that's what works for you and you're just doing what works, or?
Well, it's going away for a good reason, because it's no longer enough to have one skill. You know, there are more people that, you know video, no recording, no. Look, if you, it's the age of computers. If you don't use a computer, you're like illiterate, basically. You can't read and write books. It's equivalent to that if you can't use a computer. And if you're really good in the computer, you're like light years ahead of you know, most. If you know coding, oh my God, I wish I knew coding. So the way I look at it as a musician. So I'm a one-person music production person.
Right.
Because I basically produce an entire song in a matter of seconds, thanks to modern technology. Then thanks to modern technology and my knowledge of how to use it, I'm able to publish it and share it in the manner that it's easy for people to consume and understand, even though they don't understand how music may be made. I'm not trying to create music for musicians. I'm trying to create music for anybody with a pair of ears, you know? Right. So, and what I'm looking to do, I think the guitar is such a fascinating instrument, but it sort of fell off the bandwagon of popular icons of culture in the mid-90s.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because people that played it failed to innovate with it, right? Like you said, Metallica didn't get on streaming until what, 2009?
Yeah, like it was a long time.
So like guitar players, I don't see anybody getting on the bandwagon with EDM and hip hop. It's like, what, you too cool for that? No, this is the culture. So I started posting, I play covers of Jay-Z without vocals, and I do vocals with the guitar.
You did a Post Malone. You did a Congratulations.
Yeah, I did Post Malone Congratulations. Like, guitar players don't do that. You hear like a guitar solo, and it's the same lick that you've heard from 70s, 80s, 90s. It's like, yep. No, look for new sonic abilities.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of a good example. Disturbed is a band that comes to mind right away, where it's really hard to pick out individual songs if you're just listening to them, because they all sound, they're like the same drop D, heavy metal distortion. It's like, okay. So it's like, oh, okay. They have like 3 songs that are unique and everything else is just the same.
Yeah, there are so many more ways to use. Look, so think of a piano as a bass line, like Royale, like grand piano bar, classical music, maybe some cocktail music, and the most current innovation is synthesizer, with like from Van Halen Jump to like everything that you hear on the radio with the oscillation and Deadmau5 and Daft Punk and how far they took it. It's essentially keyboard with you can manipulate sounds. So imagine guitar, electric guitar being that bass line, and how far you can actually take it. But people don't take it. They buy the same Stratocaster and they play the same Chuck Berry lick. It's like, why?
Cause I have to think a lot of it's just because music's turned into the cool thing to do rather than a passion project for most people. Because someone like you, it's obviously a passion project. Yeah. Just like how for someone like Jimi Hendrix, for example, that was a passion project. Yeah. Like he really, you could feel it. But then you listen to something like Kesha and it's like, okay, you're here, collect your check, go on to the next song, you know? What does that say about the music industry as a whole, though? Like, is it just because it's become corporate and there's just no more innovation left, or?
There's actually a lot of innovation, and I used to be closed-minded and say that pop music is complete shit, but I started studying it of who are the people that actually write them hits, who are the people that produce these sounds and these beats and this formula of pop song, and who are dominating the market. And there's a lot of work that goes into it. And that was when I started learning synthesis, modular synthesis, as opposed to like playing guitar and different combinations of sounds create different chords. What if you play one sound, but you like, wow, give a different shape to it and then different, you know, different filter to it, just to one note, and how it changes the feel. And that's what Hans Zimmer does. He was heavy into modular synthesis, and now he's, you know, composing orchestral pieces for movies, and he's utilizing different instruments for their properties of synthesis and oscillation, and how they go in and out of phase with each other if you use one French horn or two French horns playing different notes, and there's like a third note that's getting created. So pop music, I would say it's actually the hardest music to compose because it's for the widest audience possible with the shortest attention span. And how do you get to them? And it takes a true talent to actually get to them. It's real easy to have an established audience of, let's say, hard rock, and they already came to the show, and they already paid for the ticket, and they are gonna stay till the end. It's like a first date, you know? It's like, just don't fuck up, you know? You got it.
Yeah.
You're in it. She's not gonna run away. Just don't be weird. Just don't do anything. How do you get people to come to the first date with you as a performer? No, that's magic.
That's the hard part. Yep, and that can be said for a lot of things too, like YouTube. Like, how do you get that first thing? That's one of the things that I noticed about your channel, is that you're not afraid to innovate. Whether it's music, whether it's your show layout, whether it's locations you're at, whatever it is, you're just going balls deep, and you're just like, yeah, let's do this. I wish more people had that confidence. Because we'd be in a different place if more people were like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow my passions. But, you know, that's the world nowadays. So what's the plan for Dovydas on Tour 2018?
Well, it's sort of a hashtag that I threw out to see where people are from that listen to my stuff. And the plan, I'm not sure. It's growing faster than I anticipated, because I prepared myself for a long haul. By the beginning of mid 2016, beginning of 2017, I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on YouTube and see how long it takes. You know, did some math. Okay, maybe like 3-4 years. I don't know. Maybe something will go, maybe not. And now it's growing really fast. So the idea is to finish my album, which I'm looking to release in January or February, depending on scheduling and how happy I am with the final result, and go on the East Coast and maybe West Coast. It's no plan is made yet. No dates are scheduled yet.
It's just
an idea. Look, here's what I'm looking to do.
Speak English.
Right. So hey guys that like to meet me, where are you from? Let's, you know, sort of like feeling, it's like just throwing an idea out there and see how people respond to it. And they've been really, really receptive to it. So that gives me more confidence to pursue it and actually now explore logistics. Okay, so where do I play? What dates do I play? You know, as opposed to, it's not that like Apple ever asked people, would you like this kind of iPhone or with, no, they just freaking do it, you know, because nobody in the history ever asked for a light bulb. Somebody just did it, and then they worked their ass off to market it. And then Pope said that's actually, it's insulting God because he made the source of light for the day, and at night it should be dark. So actually, the Pope at the time banned electric bulbs.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was like against God.
There's a lot of stuff that went on with the light bulbs, the whole Thomas Edison versus Nikola Tesla thing and everything too. That just adds a whole nother layer to it.
AC versus DC.
It's like, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you did go on tour, would it be like a solo tour or a band tour, or I'm not looking for anything like a hard answer, just what you have in mind. Okay.
I'm not sure. You see,
it's still early days.
I'm a one-man band act / producer by chance because the venues couldn't afford. Imagine if the economy was different and I always could get a gig, well-paying gig for myself and for my bandmates. I would have always played in the band. But at the same time, I would have not developed innovative sound because acoustic drum kit with a 4-string bass guitar and a saxophone or a violin or a keyboard player has been forever.
It has a very established.
So yeah, very established look and sound to it. And because of economic constraints and only one person we can hire, I had to be extra creative to come up with you know.
Yeah, and then there's even a layer of maybe disappointing people if you come as a band because they're so
They're like so used to, because like 95% of it's like, you know, if the fruit was hanging really low, people would have never invented a ladder.
Exactly, that's true. It's very true because there's no reason.
Yeah, why would you need a ladder?
Yeah, because it's right here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I think we burned through all my questions already. Not bad. I do have some kind of goofy questions that I was going to use as
Like,
icebreakers.
what's my favorite cereal?
Almost. It's actually, can you bench press a Volkswagen? Because you're looking pretty shredded lately.
Well, if you take the engine out, or at least the trunk side of it, not the front, but the back.
There you go.
And it depends what, because there's many. There's like a Volkswagen, you know, like big ones, like a Golf, Volkswagen Golf, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, cool. Good to know. I'll be sure to call you when I need to move. Actually, as a somewhat related topic, I'm going to bust your balls here for a little bit because you used to upload workout videos.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that anymore?
Yeah.
Fitness goals 2018.
Like a vlog style, maybe to show like, because you see, part of what I do is I don't drink, do drugs, or smoke, and I never even had a taste of alcohol in my life, you know, and I'm like really like adamant about it.
Okay.
And it's a lifestyle, and my training is also a lifestyle because I went to a swimming school for like 7 years, since I was 6 to I was like, you know, in my teens, and then I did competitive powerlifting and boxing and martial arts, so it's like,
You've always just kind of been in that fitness.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's not like I'm doing like a workout program for 90 days to get in. No, it's like, look, I brush my teeth, I take a shit, you know, I go to the gym, you know. Well, not necessarily in that order. I go to the gym later in the day. But you get the idea. It's one of the things that I do every day if I can, unless I have like 2 gigs or whatever, just too busy. I'm not going to like throw a fit about it, but
it's like it's a part of your life. It's not just something
so
you
it's
do.
like, you know, people.
Okay.
So I might do like a video, you know, my Friday night at the bar, and it's gonna be a weightlifting bar at the gym.
That would
as
actually
a
be really
pun,
funny.
You know?
That would be really funny.
It's like
Because I could just imagine like if you're streaming or something, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, he's hanging out having a good time," and they click on it, and it's just you, just like, what?
what is that? It's like, you know, just and it sets an example, you know, just like the reason I started playing guitar. Because I saw somebody on TV or MTV, or I heard records of somebody else playing guitar. That's how humans operate. They see somebody else doing, and thanks to internet and quick means of communication and transfer of ideas, they get inspired to do things. So if I can inspire somebody to, you know, quit drugs or pursue a healthy lifestyle, it's even better, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. It's not like I'm not going to do a workout tutorials. It's my channel is not quite music channel, it's more of a personality channel, and I happen to be a musician. You know, I'm not going to teach lessons or do like tutorials how to use this, but it's an art. I'm an artist, and here's how I make it, and working out and training is one of the ingredients into my clear mind that helps me to come up with ideas.
Okay. Yeah, and that is a really healthy way to look at it. Especially considering how much drugs and alcohol is synonymous with rock and roll and music, and how much it just ruins people.
Yeah, and I just, so it's unnecessary, you know.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So, which would you rate as better, Florida women or Lithuanian women?
Well, that could be a microaggression, hashtag feminism, hashtag social justice warriors.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. No, I was really just curious because you know, this is a beach town, so obviously it attracts a certain type of person here. And then from what I've seen of your videos of the shows that you played in Lithuania, it just seems like it's just a different style of
I'd say
person.
Lithuania is more provincial.
Okay.
And in more provincial places, patriarchy thrives a little bit better because people were not exposed to cosmopolitan ideas. So there is this patriarchal pressure of women to be very done up. Because if you're not married before 25, then you're going to be, what's that name?
Spinster?
No, like old maid.
Oh, crazy cat lady? I think that's the modern version.
Crazy cat lady, but there's like a term, like an English word actually. I don't know, there's a.
Yeah, spinster's the only one I can really
What's the
think of.
equivalent of a bachelor, but for a woman? But
literally bachelorette.
bachelor. Okay, well maybe. Yeah. Well, anyways, it's like a bad thing. It's a bad word.
I know what
A bachelor is a good word because a guy, it's like, oh, he's free, he's a bachelor. But a woman is a word for it in Lithuanian, senmergė, and san comes from root word that means old, and mergė it's like a girl, but it's sort of derogatory, but it's still used within the folk.
So if I had to kind of pick a phrase, I guess the closest translation would be like a windy old bag.
Yeah, and they call women like that. They're not married, you know. Some, especially older generation. So like they're like really done up, you know. But at the same time, they're like insecure. People tend to be insecure because they haven't seen a lot of world, and due to impossible economic conditions in Lithuania, it's hard to do.
Oh yeah.
So definitely people in U.S. are more relaxed, more confident. They smile more, and even if they don't necessarily know what they want out of life, they really know what they like and what they don't like, as opposed to more provincial, lower income country people that live in those countries. They're like, okay, well, I guess that's how it is.
Yeah, that's just
good.
This is just my life.
And it's just so I really wanted to break out of it, and I really ran into that mentality from females and males too. You know, it's for both genders. You know.
Okay. It's always interesting getting a different look in different cultures. Have you been anywhere else in the U.S. besides Florida?
Carolinas, Georgia.
Yeah, because you went on tour.
Alabama.
That was a stupid question.
And Tennessee. No, it was not a stupid question. You
Well, I
know?
mean, we were talking about the bluegrass challenge. That obviously wasn't in Florida.
What if I skipped? What if I didn't go through Alabama? I could,
okay.
right?
Okay, that's
so
fair,
I should have mentioned. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Because I lived in North Georgia for most of my life.
Okay.
Actually, I'd say at this point, years-wise, I spent half my life in Florida and half in Georgia.
Oh.
There is a very, very different approach in the people between there and here. Not just culture, but also like you're talking about how they carry themselves, how they talk to one another. How's the politics taken for you? Like I don't want you to get into anything into. Yeah. I don't deal with politics on my channel. I'm just more curious with how you're handling the transition, going from one style of government to whatever the hell we've got going on right now.
Right. Well, Lithuania is you have like a shit ton of parties, 40 parties. Okay. So proportionally, the size of the government compared to the size of a population, the government is so much bigger because there's a shit ton of people in there, you know?
Right.
And everybody hates everybody. Nobody likes them parties. None of the parties, you know, whoever likes them, they like the maybe one or two people, but everybody, every year, it's like higher taxes, lower salaries. Sorry. And it's like, people vote for that. It's like, that's why everybody's leaving Lithuania. So it's like a common consensus, people good, government bad. Okay.
I think that's kind of just a universal phrase. We're looking at everywhere. Because you see that a lot here too.
Well,
it's like the government's just.
I have not seen division like this anywhere.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the specific dynamics.
Red and blue. It's like you can't. I came 2012. I've seen billboards in Georgia that said White House is white for a reason.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? It's like holy crap. Like how can we?
The fuck, man.
Like that was I think. So Georgia, where I was at, it was a very red state. It was very conservative. But here in Florida, it's mostly leaning more Democrat. It's very, very blue. So it's really interesting seeing how 1,000 miles, not even 1,000 miles, I even don't know how many, probably about 1,000 miles, can just change so rapidly, and how people can be so divided and hate somebody just because of, oh, you're not my party. Well, then I'm gonna fucking stab you. You know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. But as far as like the individual mindset as well, it's very poisonous whenever it comes. That's one reason why I don't talk politics. Right. Is because I typically have a pretty middle of the road approach. I have a little bit of each. But I have some friends that flat out will not talk to me because I have one particular view, and they're like, "Yeah, well, you're a Nazi," and I'm like, "No, I'm just a normal dude." I'm a normal dude who pisses people off. Like, cut me some slack here.
it's an easy way out. It's a tactic to discard somebody as stupid or a Nazi that doesn't agree with you, because then you can see them as lesser, less intelligent. But that doesn't do any good. If you refuse a conversation with opposition, if you can't refute opposing ideas with better ideas, you lose twice. You know, first of all, you're not going to go into the conversation with the people.
Yeah, you're just going to piss the other person off, and then you're going to make your whole party look even dumber.
Yeah, you really got to, like, you know, First Amendment. If you First Amendment, then it's all the way, okay?
Yeah. And it's funny, just how many. I really don't want to get too far into this because I'm going to get myself into trouble. But yeah, it's something that's always interested me. Just how the political dynamic in America is so fucked up compared to the rest of the world, where it's, you know, like you said, 40 parties. Sweden has like 9 parties or something insane like that. Like it's like there's just so many. That was the only one I actually know.
Okay.
But I know that there's, like, elsewhere in the world, there's always a choice.
Form a coalition, you know, and there is no like primaries in general election, and then if you're not registered Republican, you can't vote Democrat. If you're not, you know, so it's like, no, everybody votes for everybody. There is no like affiliation registration prerequisites required.
Yeah, it's all kinds of bullshit. Well, I've got one last question, and then I think we're going to reach the end of our time. Is there like one song or one music video, not one that you've written, that you'd like to either like reshoot, like do like a shot-for-shot remake, kind of like modernize it, or to like make your own music video? Like, for example, I've had an idea for a modern version of Money for Nothing, because I was talking about like the musicians in the 80s and everything, and how MTV was pushing all of that. Yeah. But you can very easily modernize that with YouTube. So I was like, okay, well, like if I'd like to do like a modern version of this music video, but replace all of the references to MTV and all that with YouTube stars. Do you have like a particular song that's just like, man, it'd be really cool if I could like do a cover and shoot something with this?
I guess I'm just so focused on original content that that even I'm not looking to cover anything or remake, because people that originally did it, that was their original innovative idea. You know what I mean?
I do. That's a valid point. That's a valid way to look at it. Because it's their baby, it's not yours.
Not only that, but different is better than better. So you see somebody else do something and you're like, well, I could do that better. It doesn't matter. They were the first ones to do it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Especially in entertainment. So
that's fair.
I see how it could go, but I'm really looking to...
Yeah, I think for me it's more of just a creative outlet. Like, it's just, what can I do with this bass compared to what they did?
Right.
Not trying to improve on it, just trying to do something. Just do something
okay.
with it, you know? That was more the route that I was going with.
Okay. I guess I'm just so obsessed about shattering a lot of rules, you know, and just breaking a lot of norms within genres and music. So it's like...
That's fair.
You know, I get, but it could be. I see where you're going. Putting YouTube equivalent of the status of MTV, the way it was regarded in that specific song.
Yeah, it was just something stupid where I was like, you know, like, it's just if I ever did a music video, that would be what I'd want to do. Kind of like in a vein like how Weird Al does when he does his covers, and his music videos will be making fun of the original music video.
Right,
something
right.
like that.
Like a parody.
Yeah, where you're just kind of like poking fun and being like, aha, like I see what you did, you know.
I guess when my channel now is growing larger, I'm very aware that people typecast people. Like you wouldn't see Steven Seagal in a romantic comedy.
I mean,
or a drama, like a serious drama without action or fighting.
That's true. You just won't see it.
He's typecasted. Did you know that he's a blues guitar player?
I did not.
And he sings, and he has really nice voice.
I knew he sings.
And
I've heard that somewhere.
And he has albums out, and they're really good.
Wow.
Nobody knows that. He's typecasted. Bruce Willis plays harmonica and sings, and plays blues rock, and he has recorded albums with features like the Drifters, Under the Boardwalk. Okay. Under the Boardwalk. Yeah, and his stage name was Bruno.
Bruno.
In
That's
the
fitting
80s.
somehow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So they are typecasted. So thanks to sort of these viral videos that I had, when someone requests a song and I deliver, it still doesn't put a label on me as a Weird Al Yankovic. He does parodies, and he's a funny guy, and he even has like a funny appearance to him, and he carries himself as funny.
Yeah.
I have a vision, okay, of
No, but it's
what I'm looking to be,
Yeah.
what I'm looking to look like, and how I want to deliver it. So the material that I'll push the heaviest is my original content and music. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. I was just curious because like I was saying, like
No,
I've always wanted to do that ever since I was like 13.
Uh-huh.
Be like, oh, this would be cool. This would be a good, like, if I ever did a music video, this will be the one. You know, so I was just curious.
No, that's a good question. That's like something, even the questions that I don't agree with, it's good to have an answer to them. And I guess I just vocalized an answer to myself why I wouldn't necessarily.
So would you ever shoot a music video, like a traditional? Doesn't have to be like an MTV music video.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I don't have any, and that's I'm looking like White Iverson, man. That's a.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because that wasn't the thing that launched Post's career, but that was definitely the thing that cemented his career.
Yeah, definitely would love to do something like that. Not necessarily like reshoot, but.
Yeah. Well, have you heard him talk about how he did it?
Yeah.
Just $5,000, went out and read a bunch of things and just went out and did it. Like
in
it's
the
inspiring.
desert. Yeah. I was partially inspired by him too, by his story as well.
Yeah, he's got a great story.
Yeah.
He does.
And he's a huge innovator, but he's high all the time. I wish he would realize how innovative he is. He's like just paving a new genre of music without realizing it by being high all the time.
Yep.
He's the second Elvis. And he really doesn't, maybe, I don't know, but he's endorsed by Bud Light. Bud Light shows up and restocks his fridge.
Yep.
What the hell?
Like I was watching. I don't know if you've ever seen First We Feast on YouTube, but they do these celebrity interviews where you're eating hot wings. So you kind of just while you're sitting there suffering from the hot wings, you have to answer. Like it's interesting. And even during that, he was sitting there drinking Bud Light instead of drinking water. I'm just like, what? What? Come on, dude.
He's funny. He's cool.
All right. Well, that's really everything that I had written down. That was the vast majority of what I wanted to really talk about.
Cool. Well, it's a fun interview. Thanks for having me in your office.
My beautiful office
Look
downtown.
At this office.
You know,
Look at,
I got quite the window view.
I know, man. Water view. I love it.
Well, shooting on location is always it's always a little different. So I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
You have anything you want to peddle to my subscribers, or
go subscribe to my YouTube channel, link in description below. Also follow me on Instagram, merch link in bio. It's every day, bro.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. Just dab
on them haters.
Dude, I was on the buy page. I was gonna buy a God Church hoodie.
Really?
Just to wear.
Really?
Just in one episode.
It's a meme.
It is.
Yeah.
I just want to wear it unread, never acknowledge it in one video, and just never wear it again, just to see what people react to.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh man. Do you have any merch or anything like that you want to plug?
It's on my YouTube description. There's a link on my Teespring.
Yeah, and I'm sure that if you're watching this on my channel, I'll have all his links in the description as well, and I'm sure there'll probably be a pinned comment to his channel as well. So make sure you go check it out. I was hoping that you'd hit 100,000 subs while we were recording here. I don't think.
I don't think it happened.
I actually set up a little a clock and your live sub count, and I was recording my screen on my computer at home, so that way I could overlay it to pinpoint the exact moment you hit 100,000.
Let me see. I think it's gonna be it's probably gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. The Social Blade was saying today, but it'll be probably late tonight or something. So, all right. Well. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this on his channel, I appreciate it if you'd come and hang out. But if not, thank you for at least giving me this time, David. And I look forward to
Squad fam out.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
You can-
I was going to say I'm looking forward to more in the future, but now I'm not so sure.